By far and away, one of the towns that I get the most calls about people wanting to move to is Boerne, Texas. This bustling little small town just north of San Antonio is one of the fastest growing cities in all of Texas, one of the most desirable towns in all of Texas. And this video is going to tell you exactly why, along with taking you through the entire city, kind of giving you the rundown of everything that you need to know. We're going to talk about why the location is so perfect, what the schools are like here, what the history and culture is of this little town. Like I said, we're going to drive you through, show you all the different neighborhoods, show you some different houses that you can get in this town for what prices you can get them for. And then we're also going to talk about some not so good facts that you really need to know before you move to Boerne. So like I've mentioned before, Boerne is in a prime location just north of San Antonio, literally one of the easiest drives to get into San Antonio from any suburb. You head straight down I-10, you get right into like La Cantera at the rim, and then you get downtown. It's literally like a 30-35 minute drive to get downtown. One of the worst times, you maybe if you're in heavy rush hour traffic, you may be looking at like 40 to 45 minutes tops, but that's to get all the way out to Boerne, all the way downtown. So one of the best locations that you can be at to commute, especially if you live in one of these neighborhoods like Fair Oaks Ranch. It's right off the highway, but it's also in a really great spot because of the hill country views. I mean, there's hill country views all around Boerne. Everywhere you go, even on the highways, it is just gorgeous out here. Now, you also have, some really outstanding shopping locations, right there. Like I said, La Cantera Mall and the Rim, probably the best shopping locations in all of San Antonio. Easy 10 to 15 minute drive from Boerne. Now, real quick before we get into the rest of the details about Boerne, I want to remind you guys, if you have any questions whatsoever about Boerne, about San Antonio, about moving here especially, reach out to me. My name is Michael McCall. I run the Life in San Antonio, Texas home group. We specifically work with relocation clients like yourself. We worked with hundreds of y'all, of people just like you over the years, and absolutely love doing it. I've lived here my entire life, so whether you're moving here in 2 days or 2 years, reach out. My information is down in the description below, and it's also right here. You can schedule a call, text, email anytime, day or night, and we'll help you guys get moved here and find your house in Boerne or in San Antonio area. Now, like I said, Boerne is a beautiful little small town. We're right here by Peggy's on the Green. We're walking down to the Suburb Creek Trail that runs basically all along the Suburb Creek throughout Boerne. It's you got River Road Park that's kind of right up the road from here too. But there's a huge trail system that goes right here. I mean, you can kind of see it behind me. I mean, it's really super nice little trail system, but it just gives you that super small town vibe that you need with this small Texas towns, right? We're going to kind of wind down our way through here to get down to Suburb Creek as I'm talking, but Boerne itself has 20,000 residents. Small town, not a tiny town, but a small town. It's got enough going on here to bring enough people in here. It is a fast growing town though. The projections that I'm seeing, especially from like the Kendall County Economic Development Corporation, they're talking about possible 25% growth in the next 5 years between Boerne. So they're thinking it's going to be about 25,000 people here that are moving here within the next 5 years. So that is a ton of growth. A lot of good opportunities for investments long term. Kind of ties into the real estate. The small town, you have a lot of opportunities for like getting some really cool little historic houses close to downtown, within walking distance of the downtown where we were just at. I mean, it's a really cool little spot. You kind of have a decent amount of options all the way up from like multi-million-dollar homes to like homes that are smaller, maybe need a little bit of work, but around 350, 400,000 right there in town in walking distance. And one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that downtown is known as the Hill Country Mile. You just have loads of restaurants, shops, antique stores, art galleries, I mean, all kinds of different stuff just right there on that Hill Country Mile, that downtown stretch. You also have quite a bit of other things to do in Boerne itself. You have Boerne City Lake, you've got Cascade Caverns, Cave Without a Name, 2 different cave systems that you can go walk through. There's concerts all the time, tons of events, farmers markets, Boerne Market Days. You have, Christmas events like Dickens on Main. You got several other different ones too. There's a huge list of events that are always happening on the city's website. Tons of breweries and local restaurants that aren't just on the downtown area. You have like Dog and Pony, you have Dodging Duck, you have a couple others that are, really big names, kind of around here. And then along with the Suburb Creek Park trailway that we're on right here, you also have Guadalupe River State Park, just a short drive down the road. You also have the Suburb Creek Nature Conservation Area. It's a little park. You also have the River Road Park that's right on the Suburb Creek, just a little ways down the road from where we're at right now. Now, when it comes to schools, Boerne is literally second to none in the entire area as far as public schools go. You're looking at a 94 out of 100 rating on the district as a whole. 12 schools, only 2 of those being B rated, and they're high B rated schools. We're at the the elementary school within Esperanza right now. outstanding elementary school right across the street from the park and the amenity center. Everything like this is an awesome place to be, right? So whenever it comes to all of this stuff, you really cannot go wrong whenever it comes to putting your kids in public school in Boerne. Now, there are private school options, Geneva School at Boerne and the Crestmont Christian Preparatory School. You also have really great athletic programs within the Boerne ISD program. You know, you have Boerne Champion and then the Boerne Greyhounds, both of them outstanding in just about every sport that they play. A lot of fun to come watch if you're just in the area and don't have any kids and just want to come watch sports in the area. Really, really great school system when it comes to Boerne. Now, when it comes to history and culture, Boerne has plenty of it. It was originally founded by German settlers in the 1850s. It's been around for a long time, and you can kind of see Dinger Trading Co. is one of the historic restaurants behind me. Old restaurant, awesome restaurants, high-end place. Lots of traffic, like I've mentioned before. It's this downtown area gets pretty bustling, and for being a small town, there's a lot of people coming in and out. Some of the biggest things that you have to know about the history is, like, you got a lot of this architecture, this old German architecture, kind of country architecture, right? And then especially downtown, kind of up and down the Hill Country Mile. It's all over the place, really, and especially in some of these older houses too. You got some of these really old historic, you know, settlers' cabins that are still around to this day. Have been remodeled, of course, but they are still around. You have, you know, this whole little square that we're at. You got this little gazebo and this fountain, and then it kind of backs right up to the Suburb Creek Park that I was just at a second ago, for where the trail was at, where Peggy's on the Green is. You have all kinds of events down here. Diggins on Main comes down the main street every year for Christmas. There's all kinds of different events that come around every single year that, you know, from car meetups, you know, social gatherings, concerts all the time at the park. I mean, all kinds of different stuff. There's a huge community atmosphere here, and it is hard not to fall in love with. When it comes to the honest facts that you really need to know, some of the major things is that, you know, this town is really not super prone to development. The city itself has been against getting any of these like cookie cutter communities kind of around here, which is kind of nice actually. It's not, you know, you don't have a whole bunch of these like Lennar and D.R. Horton communities just popping up everywhere and, you know, building these like super affordable houses. It's kind of one of the reasons that there are so much, you know, higher priced homes here than most other places. Now, other thing that you have to think about is that this is a primarily residential community. There's not very many jobs here. Everybody pretty much commutes into San Antonio. That's why the big thing about them finishing that I-10 construction is so huge, because it makes that drive so much easier. Now, you're going to get traffic just because of the amount of people that are going in and out of San Antonio, but it is not nearly as bad as what it was and what it could be, and they've planned for the future, so I think there's plenty of room for that growth that's supposed to be coming. Again, you know, whenever it comes to that not prone to development, that comes from to the locals too. You know, it is a very tight-knit community, like I said, so they don't like to change. You don't want to, you know, come in here and just kind of throw in a whole bunch of new things at these locals, because nobody wants that. Everybody wants to keep Boerne, and they want to keep Boerne the special little town that it is, and we don't want to, you know, make it some new big fancy place that nobody wants to come to. It's special for a reason, right? And another thing, like I mentioned, higher cost of living. $645,000 median sales price, which is way higher than anything in San Antonio. It's actually double the median sales price of San Antonio right now. So it is very expensive to live here, especially if you're looking at buying a house. Rent is not cheap as well. Even with apartments, they're not very cheap. But one thing that kind of helps break that is that property taxes are a lot lower here than you find in anywhere else in San Antonio. You know, San Antonio and Texas property taxes are a huge detriment to a lot of people looking to move here. In Boerne, you can find areas as low as like 1.6, 1.57% tax rate. Most everything around here, unless you're in a couple different neighborhoods, Esperanza being one of them that has a mud tax and a much higher tax rate, the property taxes are all pretty much below 2%. I mean, it's really helps us whenever you're paying those higher dollars, and especially knowing that most of that is going towards, you know, your actual equity and paying that down instead of paying the interest rates that we have so high right now, and then also the property taxes that, you know, all these governments tend to just collect a lot of cash on. But again, property taxes go towards a lot of different things. It makes the schools so great. We're gonna, you know, we talked about the schools being so awesome over here. So it goes to funding those schools and making those as good as they are. Now, when it comes to real estate in Boerne, you have quite a few options. You're looking at 400 homes currently for sale in the within Boerne. You know, you have a very wide range of $300,000 all the way up to over $10 million. Now, like I said, median price points around $645,000, which is double what San Antonio has. But there are some affordable options within Boerne itself. So we're going to talk about a few different ranges: 300 to 500,000, 500 to 800, and 800 to all the way up to that multi-million dollar, $10 million plus property. Now, whenever you're looking at 300 to 500,000, there's 105 homes for sale. Some of the major neighborhoods are like Trails at Herf Ranch, This one that we're at, Shoreline Park by KB Home, which I'll tell you about here in just a second. And then you also have some other ones, you know, like South Glen, Woods at Frederick Creek, and then Ranger Creek, which is actually a really nice one, kind of on that upper end of the 400s, where you can actually get some properties in the, you know, quarter to half acre range. Now this neighborhood that we're at is KB Home at Shoreline Park. It is right by Boerne City Lake, an outstanding location, probably one of the better locations that I've ever seen. It's going to have a park right on the lake, from what I've been told. It's in its early stages, but you have to get in here and build from the ground up. There's very few opportunities for specs. I did have a client get a spec in here that was a cancellation, but if you have any questions at all about this community or any of these other neighborhoods like this, reach out. You know where to find me. Now when it comes to the sweet spot for Boerne, you're at $500,000 to $800,000. Like I said, $645,000 median price point here. There's 157 homes for sale in this price point. It's kind of the sweet spot for the new home communities. We're here at Esperanza in front of the model homes. You can kind of see them behind me. Highland, Perry, Chesmar, Scott Builder, Coventry, just to name a few of the builders that are in this area. You also have Toll Brothers, which is getting ready to start. They just did the groundbreaking actually for Regency at Esperanza, which is a 55 and over active adult community. So this is a really, really great spot whenever it comes to you know, finding new builds. I mean, especially in Boerne, this is the biggest, kind of the biggest concentration of new builds is in this price point. Other neighborhoods other than Esperanza, you know, you're looking at Ranches at Creekside, across the street from Esperanza. You have Regent Park, Balcones Creek, that Shoreline, the KB Homes community is also another one that's got some at this price point, kind of a little bit higher, right, for that neighborhood. You also have the starting point for Fair Oaks Ranch here, about 600-ish thousand. And then if you are looking to get anything up over an acre and acreage estates, you're looking at about 650 to 700,000 starting point, with a few like up in River Mountain Ranch, kind of further out of town, being at that price point of around like 650 to 700 also, but 3-4 acre plus lot sizes out there, a lot bigger, a lot more space, older homes, but still really, really nice homes, good country homes. I mean, it's kind of classic style right there, right? Now, when it comes to luxury communities, that is kind of where Boerne shines. I mean, there's some of the most outstanding luxury home communities in all of San Antonio within Boerne. We're talking like Cordillera Ranch, Manger Springs, Aqua Springs Ranch, Tapatio Springs Ranch, and then even counting some of these like Esperanza, where, you know, you do have some multi-million-dollar estates within Esperanza as well. A lot of things to look at whenever you're looking at this. We're looking at price points over 800,000 right here. Basically, we got 133 homes at this price point for sale currently in Boerne, with 84 of those being on a 1 acre lot or more. So as you can see, the acreage is where you're spending the money here. Whenever you have more property, you're going to spend more money. So that is kind of the biggest thing that's driving a lot of these prices. But if you're looking at something where you have that budget, you know, up to $1 million, and you're looking for just a bigger house, you know, 4,000, 5,000 square foot house, look at Esperanza, look at Balcones Creek, some of these other areas where you don't have to get the huge lot, but you can still get an outstanding home with an outstanding builder for around that 800 to $1 million price point. I mean, Highland Homes, Perry Homes, you know, some of these others, mainly Highland as far as Esperanza goes. They're also over in Balcones Creek, but you know, you get some outstanding homes for right around that 800 to $1 million. We're looking at like 3,500 to 5,000 square foot homes. So if you have a big family, you want to put them in a big house, in a community with a lot of people in it for, you know, getting to acclimated to the area, you know, those kind of neighborhoods is kind of what you want to look at. The other big thing whenever you're looking at, you know, these luxury communities, you know, Cordillera Ranch is one of the, like I said, premier luxury communities in all of San Antonio. You have the outstanding, you know, country club and golf course. You have acreage estates all the way up to like 20 acre estates out there. It's just a massive community. I think it's like tens of thousands of acres. I don't know the exact size of it, but it is thousands of acres, lots of houses, lots of community, you know, within Cordillera Ranch. But on top of that, Boerne is also an outstanding area if you have an even higher budget to get a, you know, ranch property. So if you're looking at buying, you know, a ranch that's going to be in your family for generations to come, 20, 30, 40, 100, 300 acres, there's some of those on the market right now. Those $10 million, $5 to $10 million properties, if you get a really, really nice house with 100 to 300 acres, that's some of them that are on the market right now. This is a great place for it. Now, Boerne is by far one of the best suburbs in all of San Antonio, but another one is New Braunfels. And if you're looking at either Boerne or New Braunfels, if you've been thinking about one or the other, check out this video right here. It compares the two. You can get all the details you need about what to know about the comparisons between them and decide which one you're going to go for. And if you've watched all the way to the end, guys, please subscribe. Keep an eye out for these videos like this. And if you have any questions whatsoever about Boerne or San Antonio, reach out, call, text, email anytime, guys, and we will see you in the next one.